Hey friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. My name is Becky and today we have a busy afternoon planned. We are going to get our instant garden put together. I've been collecting these bags of soil in order to do this and it's not raining, so I figured today is the perfect time to come out here and tackle this project. We are going to be planting in these root bags here. I have 3 root bags that are 45 gallons and I have one that is 100 gallons. I've decided to start our container garden right here because last year this was a tomato garden area and Josh put in some irrigation systems for me here. So I thought we could repurpose this irrigation because we're not putting the tomatoes here, and we could build our instant garden. That's what I'm calling this, the instant garden, because these root bags are so easy to create some raised beds. The 45-gallon bags, the ones I'm filling first, take 7 cubic feet of soil in order to fill. So it takes 2 of these big bags of soil plus one more little bag that we're going to get to when we get to it. But I'm excited to get these filled up. I've seen these all over online, and this year is my first year trying them out. I can link them down in the description box. I also am using these. If you've watched me plant my potatoes, we have some potatoes that we're planting in these as well. But those potatoes are planted in 15-gallon bags. So I'm just organizing these bags so that they're nice and even, and we are topping off. This is the 100-gallon bag, and we are going to fit a lot of plants inside these instant gardens. That's what I'm calling this, the instant garden. Wanted to do a little bit of cleanup before we then go ahead and start filling up these pots.
I have some tomatoes here. These are some Roma tomatoes and these are Purple Ridge. Unfortunately, I've had them outside for a long time and they're not looking super great, but I think by the time we get them in the ground, they're going to start to flourish. And then here we have some peppers that we started indoors together. We have Right on Red and our Fresh Bite Yellow. I'm not sure exactly which ones are which, but I know that that's what's in here. And over here we have all of our pot jalapenos. So these are really small jalapeno peppers, so we're gonna get those planted. And then I also have just a whole lot of seeds that I brought out here in between the tomatoes and peppers. We're gonna plant some bush beans, some French breakfast radishes, some scarlet Nance carrots, some cylindra beets, some other bush beans. These are Blue Lake bush beans. We have some garlic chives we started indoors. And then over here we have some more kale starts. And in my onion bed, I haven't showed you guys this yet, we have some a lot of volunteer, all these kind of like frilly plants. These are all calendula plants, so I'm going to transplant some of those into our new containers. And look at these ranunculuses. Look how beautiful that is. What I'm going to do to start is we're going to put 2 tomato plants in this first pot and 1 tomato plant in the rest of them.
I do want to make a note here that I'm only planting determinate tomatoes in these root bags. Determinate tomatoes will only grow to a certain size, and they do best in containers and with tomato cages. The tomatoes we planted before on the trellises were indeterminate tomatoes. Those are tomatoes that continue to grow throughout the entire growing season, and they can get very, very big, and they don't do well in containers.
I'm going to start with the Purple Rain in here. And you know, maybe I'll plant 3 in here because I have 3 tomato plants. And we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to break off the bottom few leaves and then I'm going to bury this pretty deep. This one's starting to grow a little crooked because it was falling over, but we'll get it in here, get it going straight again. And then all around this tomato plant, I'm going to put the pot jalapenos. These can go in 6-inch pots, so I can put a ton of them in here. This one has a couple in it. Okay, I have 1 extra jalapeno plant. I save all these containers and I'll recycle them and use them next year. Oh, you know what? That last one I planted just said 5 color peppers, so we're gonna have some pot jalapenos and some 5 color peppers in here. Not sure which ones are which. This 1 extra pot jalapeno, pretty sure that's what this one is. we're gonna stick over here next to these tomatoes. These should have been planted a long time ago, but my theme of this year is better today than tomorrow. I'm gonna bury it kind of at an angle so that it's gonna grow straight up. Let's see, let's take that leaf off. I think I'm gonna actually angle it a little bit more. This plant had been tipped over outside, and that's why it's growing sideways. Tomatoes are actually vines. If you let them grow naturally, they would grow along the ground. They don't want to grow straight up and down. That's not natural. That's why you have to trellis them. There we go. Put this guy in here. Not 100% centered, but it'll do just fine. There we go. We're back to this 100-gallon pot, and I have a few Rebecca that I started indoors a while ago. And so I'm just going to put a couple of these around, 3 of them, the outside here. And then I'm going to grab a couple other seeds. I think I need to wet this soil down. Then we're going to put some seeds in here as well. I've been waging war in my brain whether I'm going to run to the store and get a couple more bags of soil. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I really didn't want to because I want to just be out here and focus on getting things done. But let me show you something. We still have about 5 inches from where the soil is to here, and that is before I've totally watered it in. This soil is going to continue to compact, and I want this soil up at the top because I know it's going to shrink down throughout the growing season. Same with this one, that one not so much, but I think I'm going to go get 3 more bags because I'm going to need them for my root bags for my potatoes anyway. And if we're going to do it, let's do it right. So I'm going to go run to the store. We'll be right back. And we also have to plant these peppers here. These peppers were ones I completely forgot about. When I was planting out, if you watched the video where we planted out the majority of the peppers, I kept thinking to myself, and I didn't mention it because I was like, I probably just killed them, because I did kill a bunch of seedlings. I just never got around to doing a ton of updates, but trust me friends, you guys see some beautiful starts that we did together. I killed a lot too. Not as much as the last 2 years. We're getting better. We're getting better. Probably I killed maybe 25% of what I started versus the year before it was more like 50, and the year before that was more like 80. So we're doing good, but I didn't kill a whole flat of peppers, and it's my bell peppers, like my King of the North, my Marconis, those things. I was like, where are my sweet big peppers? And I left them outside where I was hardening them off, and I didn't have them out here where I was planting. So we have 2 beds of kind of hot peppers. I have this bed back here that doesn't have anything in it, and in that video I was like, I don't know what I'm going to put over here. We're going to put sweet peppers over here. But for right now, I'm going to go run, get a couple more bags of soil, and then we'll pick this up where we left off. And if you did spy it, I do get $1 iced tea at McDonald's. I know I could probably support a better company, but it's $1 for a large iced tea. I decided to get some steer manure. I don't know if that's a good choice, but I figured, why not? So I might have to dig up my tomato plant a little bit. I got a few bags, yeah. We'll adjust that tomato plant in just a second. All right. Come here, little guy. Let's get you back out. There we go. That's better. I like that a lot better. When in doubt, go with your gut, because I had this thought before I even put anything in here. Beautiful. Now I have to do that to the rest of them. I'm a lot happier with how that looks. I think that's perfect. And I did get 1 extra bag, so if over the growing season we need to add a little bit more, we can. So it's right there. But I want to get some of these planted right in this pot right here, right now. In this 100-gallon pot, right now we have 3 tomato plants, 1 pepper plant, 3 Rebecca. We are about to plant a dwarf sunflower, some cylindra beets. When you're growing in small spaces, I think it's good if you grow varieties that grow tall and skinny, like cylindra beets and breakfast French radishes, because they don't grow outwards, round, they grow cylindrical and up and down. So I'll maximize your space, and we're gonna grow things that are gonna go down in the ground along with things that are gonna go up in the ground. So we've got some carrots here, and we're gonna put some blue leg pole beans in here. So this is gonna be quite the variety of things in this one pot. And I think it'll be fun just to have a variety of things growing in one container. Oh, and then we also have some garlic chives that need to go in as well. So I don't have any particular order anything is going to go in. I'm just going to start opening seed packs, whoop, and start putting some things in the ground. First, we're going to put some blue leg pole beans, or bush beans, about every 4 inches. So we'll start with those in this area between these 2 sets of flowers. I'll break the garlic chives into 2 sections, and we'll put some on this side, some over here, right here. Let's put some carrots. So what I'm going to do is just make a little trench about 2 inches apart. Carrot seeds are so small, so they're very difficult to plant. I'll have to thin these. They will grow bigger for you if they're not overcrowded, but it's super hard to plant carrot seeds not overcrowded. Those covered up. Let's plant some radishes over here. Let's do a little trench again. It's been about 2 weeks since I planted radishes, so this will be a good time. It's good to succession plant things like radishes that grow really quickly, so you can have a harvest all year long. Quick pickling is my favorite way to eat radishes. You quick pickle them, you just put them in some vinegar and some salt and maybe a little bit of sugar, and then you put them on tacos, and it's fantastic. And last, over here, we'll put some beets. So this bed is planted out. After we harvest the carrots, the radishes, and the beets, we will be able to plant something else in those areas. I didn't get any sunflowers planted in there, but I did just plant a ton of those sunflowers in one of the raised beds, so I think we'll skip it. I think what I want to focus on getting in these 2 containers are more pepper plants. I normally garden with gloves on, but I already started without, so let me know if you're a gardener that wears gloves or not. I'm gonna try to get 5, let's see. Yeah, we'll get 5 pepper plants around here. That might be a lot, but we're gonna try. These are right on red. These are from Haas Tools as well, and they're supposed to be a really sweet grilling pepper. These are fresh bite yellow. Now this might be crazy, but between each pepper, I'm gonna put 2 bush beans. We're gonna just try to maximize this garden space as much as we can. Around each of these peppers, we're gonna put some cylindra beets, just 2 between each pepper. And around each one of these peppers, we're gonna put some Scarlet Gnats carrots. The bee guy's house and look at his bee equipment. So I was just about to clean up all my mess when I found something. another whole bag. But I don't have enough soil now to fill this because it takes 2.5 bags to fill one of these 45-gallon bags. So this is going to be another project for another day. I want to get this area cleaned up, and then we've got all those peppers that I found, my big sweet peppers, planted, and maybe we'll get some more other things planted.
Before I moved on to planting anything else, I thought it would be a good idea to get a layer of wood chips around these bags that we just planted out. It probably would have been smart to do this before I planted the bags out, but I didn't really think about it. You can see how last year the wood chips have already started to break down, and there's some areas where the soil is peeking through, because that's what happens is these wood chips basically turn into soil, and there are some weeds that are peeking through. So I'm going to take a few minutes here and I'm going to get a layer of mulch around all of these new garden beds we just planted out, and I think that's just going to be fantastic. And then as I was doing this, I thought, you know what, my neighbor who takes care of my chickens, I think he wouldn't mind a summer job, and I am going to hire him to mulch the rest of around the garden because that is a big pile of wood chips. And you can get these free wood chips at getchips.com. I've talked about that website before, and that's where I get them.
Friends, it looks so good. I'm so thrilled with how this is turning out. What I'm going to do between the root bags is I am going to put some pots. We've got, all these pots everywhere. I've got my ginger and turmeric and things. And this is going to be kind of our container garden area. We're going to expand it just this way. We've got that one more root bag to plant. If you guys want these root bags, I will link them down in the description box. I think they're an excellent way to kind of get an instant garden. And I think it looks so cute. I absolutely love how it's turning out. I'm just absolutely thrilled. But now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant those peppers.
You've seen me move these leaves so many times. These are the mulch that I put over the beds just to keep the soil safe. And I keep putting all of them on this one bed, and I couldn't figure out what am I going to do with all of this mulch, because I was going to put them on my potatoes. That's what I did last year. But I thought, you know what? There is a spot in my girls' chicken run that is starting to get kind of soggy, and I thought that this mulch would be a great thing to help kind of absorb some of that moisture. And so I just put all the mulch in one spot, and by the time I was done working in the garden, they had basically completely flattened it because there were so many worms and grubs and bugs and stuff living in it. They just had a great time playing in this. Eventually this will turn into compost, and it definitely can be harvested. This will add a little bit of carbon to the nitrogen the chickens produce, and it'll just be perfect.
I just chased a bunny out of my garden. Might be the one that's eating my peas. I don't have a fence, and I probably won't ever put up a fence for bunnies. I just have to learn to share, plant extra, and hopefully I still get a harvest. Now that bed is completely prepped. It just needs some fertilizer, and then we can get the peppers on it. But I need to run inside and grab something to drink because I'm thirsty.
This is a fertilizer that I got from Azure Standard in bulk, and it's a fish-based fertilizer. It is organic, and I can link that down if you're interested in that. This is my first year using it, so I don't really know how well it's going to work, but I really like the ingredients of it. It's an organic-based fish fertilizer, and it does smell pretty fishy. So I have my peppers here. I'm putting 3 peppers in a row. I went back and forth whether I was going to do 3 or 4, but I thought if I did 3 in a row, then what I would be able to do is plant things around the peppers, because that would give me a little bit more space. I've been watching the sunlight in my garden for the last 2 years. This is my 3rd year gardening, and if you're new, I live in Washington State and I'm in Zone 8B, and I'm really hoping that these 3 beds are going to be the beds that are going to have the most sun for me and hopefully produce the best peppers I've ever had.
Can I just tell you something that dawned on me as I was planting out these peppers? I started every single pepper from seed that is in the ground today. Now, a lot of the peppers I started died, but the peppers that we are growing this year were starts that I did, and I am thrilled to say that. Let me show you the other things we planted in this pepper bed that we just planted together. In the corners here, I planted some ground cherries. I also planted a few Rebecca in here. That's that one and that one. We planted some pink dandelions and some white dandelions. I'm not sure which ones are which because there's one right here and I don't know if it's the pink or white one. I also, right there, there and there are some carnations. Those were a little root bound, so I don't know if they're going to come back. And we got this whole bed planted. I'll probably end up putting some carrots and maybe some basil between these plants, or maybe along the outside here, but not today. Over here, let me show you what else we got planted. Now, I've showed you that the deer have mowed down, or rabbits, I don't know which, my peas, but they really did a number to this one back here. So what I did is I finally planted my cucamelons. So the little things that are dangling up, those are cucamelons, and I should have planted those weeks ago. So hopefully they'll grow. Looks like a couple of them fell. I need to re-trellis those. Let's get this guy back up. I need to do some weeding in here. Here we go. I would say that was a productive day. I've got dirt all over my face. I've got things in the ground, and I need to go clean up because I am going to go meet my new bee mentor. This morning, it was the first in-person bee association meeting in 2 years, and I've been a part of it for 6 months now, but it's just been emails and I haven't really gotten much out of it. And today I got a ton out of it. I got a mentor, and I'm gonna go over to his house tonight. We're gonna look at me and Josh's aviary, and he's gonna possibly sell me some equipment. So I'm so thrilled and excited about this. Now I feel like I get to take the next step when it comes to possibly bringing bees on the homestead, which is a dream come true for me. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I am so excited about our instant garden. That is gonna be so fun to watch to grow out. I think I wanna plant some more things in those, and things that are going to crawl out and grow out, like cucumbers, maybe some melons, but we'll just have to see when we get to it. Right now I need to go clean up. If you guys want to watch more of my videos, I'll put some videos right here. You can go watch those between now and my next upload. If you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye guys.